kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang mag-ibig, telas ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit ng bagaw, ay hinatang tula, kawin sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iingin, ang bituin at karon niya kailan pang ay di magtitingin. Luman ang araw ng walhagit pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling ko. Ang inigaya na pagkay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Dear God, it seems like lots of uncertainty around us. So many people who need prayers. Today, we pray for those whose health is compromised by the coronavirus or other health issues. For those who suffer from the economic impact of the virus in travel, manufacturing, hospitality, energy, and so many other industries. For healthcare workers and first responders and other public servants who put themselves in harm's way for us. For our leaders of the world, our countries, states and cities as they seek to help manage this challenge. For the researchers, the epidemiologists, and the investigators so that their work yields knowledge and understanding.
Handog mong galing, handog na talino, husay at kakayahan. Nagbuhat sa'yo, mahal na kolehiyo, UP Dentistry. Pumalaot man sa malayong karagatan, taglay pa rin ang iyong adhikain. Makapaglingkod saan man sa mundo, tatak ng aming kolehiyo. Ligaya na ang pagkatid ng dangal, gamit ang aming husay. May pagmalaki ang aming sarili sa ngalan ng paaralan. Hatid na galing, hatid na talino, husay at kasanayan. Iniaalay rin sa bayang Pilipino mula sa aming kolehiyo. Ang iyong kakayanan nagmula sa'yo, kolehiyo ng aming tagumpay. Husay at galing, utang sa'yo, kolehiyo ng aming tagumpay.
Good evening, alumni and guests. Welcome to the first virtual General Assembly hosted by the UP Dental Alumni Association for our UPCD alumni. Good evening, Dean Danny Magtanong and his execom, the faculty, former deans of the UP College of Dentistry, and the past presidents of the UP Dental Alumni Association. Welcome home. Keep it up or keep it UP, because we are all products of the UP system, and both our special guests are also graduates of the University of the Philippines. The General Assembly is a fairly recent tradition for our alumni. It was designed so we get to meet each other mid-year, aside from the February homecoming, which is a more formal and a fancier event. During the General Assembly, traditionally held on a Wednesday morning, our UP Dental alumni convened to visit the college for a simple celebration and a special kind of learning experience. The UP Day hosts this more intimate gathering that culminates in a luncheon. Tonight, however, we are unable to feed you with food, but we hope we leave you, our alumni, satisfied with nourished minds and spirits. To formally welcome all of us, I present to you our beloved Dean, Dr. Danny Magtanong.
Hello. Good evening, fellow alumni. To connect with my phone kasi ayaw mag-connect yung kanina. But anyway, good evening again. Before anything, congratulations to all of us in the event of our General Assembly, dubbed as Keeping It Up. Kudos to the officers of our association, led by Dr. Rochelle. Thank you for all the great jobs. Thank you for keeping it up. Thank you for keeping it UP. A perfect reminder that the association we all hold with deep cherishment is very well attached to the university, to the college we love dearly. UPDAA exists because of and for the college and its entire community. In more than a year, or maybe close to 2 years of this public health situation, the Alumni Association demonstrated resilience and continued serving and supporting not only the members, not only our students, not only the support staff, but also the entire profession and the community at large. Like our association, our college likewise did not stop. We did not cease pursuing, and we are keeping it up with our mandate of training and education. As you may all know, the default mode is remote learning. Our students are learning from anywhere, from their homes in different parts of the country. Virtual clinics, laboratory sessions, research activities, and even community engagements were all done in remote modalities. Articulators, models, portable compressor, units, handpieces, instruments, dental materials, etc., not to mention communication gadgets and mobile Wi-Fi's, were couriered to some of them, to those who don't have the means logistically. We have decided to resume teaching, albeit remotely, and for the students resume learning, because it is the least that we can do to reclaim our future, our control over our lives. By teaching and learning, we assert our humanity, our faith in the ameliorative value of education. Albeit the difficulties and challenges in teaching and learning faced both by the students and teachers, we persisted. The situation created a tremendous impact on the education, particularly in the realm of skills acquisition and patient care. Cognizant of the looming scenarios, we worked and struggled for the permission of the government for us to conduct F2F classes or face-to-face classes. Retrofitting and renovations were started to conform with the health protocols to minimize and mitigate the spread of the disease. Engineering and administrative controls were put into place. We started working on this since the early part of the pandemic in 2020. Even at that time, the prospect of the said permission was bleak. But we persisted. Engineering devices and equipment were procured. Simulators were purchased, models, gadgets, etc. We managed to do this by using other sources of funds, including some donations from some alumni groups and personal contributions. UP Manila had given us 19 million for the renovation and installation of ventilation system. This is the HVAC system, HVAC system for our clinics and laboratories, practically of the entire building, primarily for the eventual permission for patient encounters. This project will soon be completed by the end of this month. When a joint CHED-DOH memorandum was issued sometime February this year, allowing six courses, medicine, nursing, medical technologies, physical therapy, midwifery, and public health, to gradually reopen and conduct limited face-to-face classes. Our hopes were heightened, even though dentistry was not cited. At least now we have something to guide us with, using the requirements of the joint memorandum. We continued to prepare our rooms that we have identified for a limited face-to-face classes using simulators we procured. And finally, before the end of April 2021, CHED Memorandum Order Number 3 Series of 2021 was issued, allowing dentistry programs to conduct limited face-to-face sessions for preclinical and clinical courses, but still precluding patient encounters. Sabi namin, okay na rin. So after more than a year of persistence and hard work on our part, we were given the certificate of authority to conduct face-to-face or limited face-to-face classes for our students, following the inspection and approval of our setup last July 19, 2021. I'm happy to share with you that during the post-inspection conference, the CHED Commissioner, Honorable Aldrin Darilag, who was the head of the composite inspection team, announced that they have found a model setup for dentistry programs in the country. Our limited face-to-face started July 26, but only lasted till August 5, a day before the ECQ status was imposed again in Metro Manila. The classes definitely will resume once the GCQ restriction or better is implemented again. Part of the requirements for face-to-face is having students, teachers, and staff to submit themselves to RT-PCR tests before they can be involved in the sessions. That's 3 days before start of the session. We managed to provide for the test right in the college premises in coordination with the National Institute of Health, providing tests and its personnel administering them. And although not a requirement, I am also happy to report to you that almost all of our faculty members have been fully vaccinated. Though individual efforts in their own, LGUs and most of them took advantage of the rollout in PGH and Manila government. Among our non-academic staff, 23 out of 29 are fully vaccinated. The remaining 6 have various reasons for not having their inoculations. More than 90% of our students were vaccinated already, some of them from their own localities, and we were able to coordinate and request more than 100 students to have their vaccinations at the Philippine General Hospital last June 2021. So dear fellow alumni, at this point, let me formally welcome you, everyone, to our General Assembly. So again, congratulations to all of you, to all of us. May God bless us. Keep it up, everyone. Keep it UP. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dean Danny. Good evening, fellow alumni. Home is a place you grow up wanting to leave and grow old wanting to get back to. I came across this quote, which I think is something each one of us can relate to. Because once in our lives, for at least 6 or so years, I'm sure we have considered UPCD as our home. Events such as this assembly used to give us a rare opportunity to go back and visit this place we used to call home. But for obvious reasons, we are all presently deprived of that chance. Now, some changes or improvements have been made in UPCD, as mentioned by Dr. Danny, as a response to the current needs as we transition to the new normal. The entire UPCD community, including, of course, the administration, the faculty, the non-academic staff, all have their own contributions to these efforts. A special thanks to Dr. Murjani and her team of volunteers for their efforts in the CHED application for limited face-to-face activities. So thank you and congratulations to all for being part of this initiative. Now, in lieu of the usual walk tour we take around the UPCD building during our visit, the UPDAA team has prepared for us a virtual walkthrough, hoping that this would somehow give us all at least a glimpse of the present state of our UPCD home. Thank you and happy viewing to all.
Thank you, Dr. Mark Pilas for that video, and that we got to actually tour the building from where we are right now. And of course, we also commend the collective efforts of the UPCD admin and the faculty for meticulously preparing the facility to ensure the safety of our students, personnel, faculty, and our visitors. I was looking at the chat box. It seems that a lot of our alumni would want to visit the college soon. So hopefully in better circumstances. I will now introduce to you your awaited speaker. From the beginnings, the simple beginnings of a bamboo cart on Maginhawa Street, our speaker has inspired many Filipinos through her remarkable initiative to help those unable to source food during the onslaught of the city lockdown by starting a community pantry with the slogan, "Give what you can, take what you need," proving that modern-day bayanihan still exists. Ana Patricia Non attended the Paco Catholic School during her high school days. As with all of us here, she is also a product of the University of the Philippines, where she took a visual communications course at the College of Fine Arts. As a member of the UP Artist Circle sorority, Ms. Non had participated, among others, in a Bigas drive for jeepney drivers displaced by the lockdown, which was initiated by the sorority. Her friends described Patreng as compassionate. This is proven by her engagement in various relief efforts, including projects that provided healthy meals to lactating mothers and to children amid the pandemic. Back in college, she conducted free art workshops in villages. She also had programs for political prisoners and the Luman. Today, several months and 6,700 pantries later, this community pantry has evolved into a hub at 108 Maginhawa Street, where goods from anonymous donors are dropped off and then distributed to various community pantries. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the progenitor of the Maginhawa Community Pantry, Ms. Ana Patricia Non.
Good evening po sa inyong lahat. Naririnig niyo naman po ako. Okay lang po ba open niyo po yung camera niyo? Medyo awkward po kasi ako pag magsalita pag wala akong kausap. Ayun po, good evening po sa inyong lahat and maraming salamat po sa pag-invite sa akin. Actually po nung in-invite ako, sabi ng kapatid ko, "Uy, may nag-invite sa'yo, taga UP din, i-go muna." Tapos sabi ko, "Sige, go, excited ako." Sabi, ito yung Dental Association ng UP. Tapos parang ako, paano yan ate? Yun yung unang insecurities ko. Yung unang insecurity ko, yung ngipin ko. Kasi ang pangit nga po ng ngipin ko. So, worried na worried ako. Tapos nung nalaman ko yung details na event, ang next kong kasama si Dr. Vicky Bello. Tapos sabi ko, hala, yung skin and yung ngipin ko, yung insecurity ko. Pero okay lang kasi tungkol naman sa community pantry and baka kailangan ko harapin yung insecurities ko. So, sana wag po kayo mag-focus sa ngipin ko kung hindi sa pag-uusapan natin ngayong gabi. Ayun po, maraming salamat po sa pag-invite sa akin. And hindi ko po actually madalas makwento to. And sino ba si Patreng and paano ba ako nag-arrive sa community pantry? So, short story lang po. Meron akong before community pantry, nasa corporate world po ako, nasa sales ako. Tapos typical 20s na ang dream ko yumaman, magkakotse. Alam niyo po yun, yung dreams na, typical dreams na millennial na okay lang din. Tapos po, meron akong friend na artist din from UP College of Fine Arts. Tapos magaling siyang artist, nag-exhibit na siya sa Paris, sa Korea, ganyan. Pero artist activist siya and siya yung mas nakalubog sa communities. Tapos meron siyang isang kwento sa akin. Sabi niya, nasa community siya, farming communities, tapos may bundok doon. Nag-research siya kung ano yung art na gagawin niya next para sa exhibit. So nakikipag-usap siya sa mga locals. Tapos may mga locals na kailangan magpagamot, ganyan. Tapos wala sila. May kasama lang silang isang nurse. Tapos may isang bata pumila sa kanila. Actually, isang bata nung una, tapos naging 5. Tapos parang ang sabi ng bata sa kanya, "Kuya, pwede bang bunutan niyo ako ng ngipin?" Ganyan. Tapos bilang artist siya, wala siyang dalang kahit ballpen lang. art materials, oil paint. Sabi niya, awang-awa ako dun sa mga tao na parang gusto kong matuto agad maging dentista. Sabi niya, Patreng, pagka natapos ko tong exhibit na to, mag-enroll kaya ako sa UP Manila, ganyan. Kasi hindi ko mabunutan ng ngipin yung mga bata. So yun yung goal niya. And itong friend na ito, siya po talaga yung maigsi lang, namatay siya unfortunately dahil sa sakit din 2 years ago. Pero nung wake niya, parang yun din yung wake up call ko na, uy, itong kaibigan ko to, ang isila ng buhay, pero tinodo niya. And inisip niya pa mag-aral pa siya ng dentistry kasi hindi niya matulungan yung mga nakapila. So, sana inspiration po yun sa inyo. And simula nung nawala po yung friend ko na yun, parang ang naisip ko, oo nga, maigsi lang yung buhay. And natutunan lalo natin ngayong pandemic, maigsi lang yung buhay. And hindi too late, gawin natin yung gusto natin, gawin natin yung purpose natin. And sa panahon po kasi ngayon, alam niyo yun, parang ang hirap din pilitin yung sarili natin na may ambag sa lipunan, na may maging pinakamagaling, ganyan. Yung essential pala sa buhay, yung mga simpleng bagay lang. So for me, naisip ko noon, nasa UP po, Diliman, hirap, hindi po ako best student talaga. Hirap na hirap din ako mag-aral noon kasi kailangan kong i-balance yung aral at racket. Parang mahal yung material sa fine arts, and para makabili ako ng material sa FA, yung baon ko ng Monday, kailangan kong hatiin yung 300 pesos gagawin kong puhunan panglako ng toasted siopaw, merengue, kung ano man. I'm sure ganun din siguro kayo sa UP Manila. So balance sa akin yung pag-aaral and pag-racket para maka-survive sa college. And nitong pandemic, nahirapan din po yung maliit kong business. Tapos, sabi ng mga kapatid ko, andito naman kami. Pero yun nga po, yung may mga taong hindi talaga magsusurvive. Kasi daily wage earners sila, yung mga naglalako, ganun. So doon po nag-start yung pantry. And personally, pagka gutom ako, mainit po yung ulo ko, hindi talaga ako maka-function, and hindi ako productive. So naisip ko noon, last na yung community pantry. After nito, hindi ko na kaya kasi wala na akong pang-refill. Hindi ko na alam kung ano yung effort ko sa community kasi yung surge ng cases. So, sinet up ko lang po siya, pinost ko sa Facebook para sila na yung mag-refill kasi wala na talaga akong pang-refill. And yun, the next day, actually, later that day, madami nag-refill. By third day ng community pantry, meron na tayong 300 community pantries. And ngayon po, ang last count natin, 6,700. May mga nagsasara. Actually, mahina po talaga yung donations. Humihina ngayon pati sa maginhawa. Pero alam niyo po yun, yung idea lang na basta ma-tap natin yung mga may kakayahan, nandyan lang yung pantry organizers and willing silang mag-open. And nakakatuwa po kasi hindi na lang siya pantry din. I'm sure makarelate po kayo dahil nasa medical field kayo. Yung community pantries po, nakipag-partner din siya sa St. Luke's para i-discuss kung ano ba yung vaccine, ano yung COVID. Kasi yung communities po natin hindi naniniwala sa marami pong hindi naniniwala sa COVID. Ang dahilan nila, ba't kami maniniwala, hindi naman kami nare-reach ng face mask, alcohol, face shield, or ng tulong. So, yung community pantry, kailangan niya mag-step up para explain sa mga tao na totoo yung threat. And masaya din po kasi yung community pantry organizers natin, may dala kaming laptop, tsaka cellphone. Tapos kami po ay nagpaparegister ng mga tao para magpabakuna. Tapos may listahan po kami ng homeless na okay, wala silang address, paano sila babakunahan, wala silang IDs. So yung mga community pantries po natin, pinaglista rin natin sila tapos para ma-schedule yung vaccination ng mga homeless dito. Tapos sa Diliman community pantries, 22 community pantries yun, I think parang 95% vaccinated na kami mga volunteers. So, and dati magkakaawa yung magkakapit-bahay. Tapos, ngayon okay na sila. Yung mga nasunugan sa Manila, ang unang rumisponde, community pantry organizers para magbigay ng food, damit. Tapos, sa Marikina po, yung recent na bagyo, by morning, may listahan na yung mga community pantry sa Marikina para ibalita ko ilang families yung kailangan ng tulong sa bawat evacuation center. So, sa panahon po ngayon, hindi ko talaga in-expect panahon ng pandemya, pinakamalala. yung kagutuman, kahirapan, and nakakatakot yung sakit, may something na nabuhay sa atin. And hindi ko kinukuha yung credit po talaga ng community pantry, hindi siya tungkol sa akin, tungkol po sa lahat. So, masaya po ako na nagawa siya. And sa inyo din po, masaya akong kasama kayo kasi I'm sure paano rin yung pagpa-practice nyo. Kasi hirap pa rin ng pandemic, hindi ganun ka-safe. And kung haharap man kayo sa clients nyo, sinasacrifice nyo rin yung safety nyo. So lahat po tayo may adjustment. And sa akin lang po, ang wish ko lang po sa inyo, para sa inyo lahat, di ko po kayo ipe-pressure na gumawa ng pantry or gawin itodo pa rin yung paglabas, i-practice pa rin yung ginagawa nyo. Ang gusto ko lang po ay safe tayong lahat. Alagaan niyo po yung sarili nyo. And sa mga nandito po, hindi naman dahil sa age, pero hindi too late na gawin yung gusto natin, yung edad natin. And syempre, parang pandemic, hindi na rin pala okay yung mangarap lang para sa sarili. Para mangarap rin tayo para sa community natin. Idamay na natin lahat, itodo na natin. Dati akala ko po imposible yung mga pangarap ko, masyadong idealist. Pero nung sinimulan ko yung pantry, parang, posible pala. Basta tulong-tulong tayo sama-sama. And kayo din po, sana magkita-kita rin po kayo eventually. And tiwala lang din po. Kung may matutulong din po kami sa inyo, yun po, tulungan lang po tayo. Maraming salamat po.
Ms. Non, thank you. We're privileged to have you as a guest. I have already spilled, pero with what you said, medyo may iba yata, no? Thank you for inspiring us and inspiring the world. I'm sure yung small act of kindness na yan, you didn't expect na mag-evolve into something ganyang ka-impactful. So, we are privileged to have you. I'm sure yung altruistic brainchild na yan, nag-create ng ripples, actually nag-cascade sa madami, including our alumni, who have also have organized their own community pantries until to this day, nag-evolve nga lang daw. Asahan mo na sa UPDA, mag-usap-usap kami. We want to partner with you kung anong abot namin makakaya na maitutulong, tuloy-tuloy sana. And in you, the Filipino Bayanihan spirit continues and lives on. Mabuhay ang iyong team, Ms. Don. Mabuhay ikaw at ang iyong team. Maraming salamat. We would like to hear from Jamie.
Thank you, Dr. Rochelle. On behalf of the UPDA community, I am very honored to present this certificate. Let me read it. The University of the Philippines Dental Alumni Association presents the Certificate of Appreciation to Ms. Ana Patricia Non for sharing her valuable insights and experiences as a speaker during today's event entitled Keep It Up, Keep It UP, the UPDA General Assembly. Given this 25th of August, 2021, signed by the UPDA President, Dr. Rochelle Javier, and myself as the UPDA Secretary. Maraming salamat ulit, Ms. Patreng.
Thank you din po. Thank you po.
Yes, and to support the advocacy of Ms. Patreng, actually we have started collecting donations for membership fees, but a portion of that will be collected for this week will be forwarded to your advocacy, Ms. Non. So we hope we could continue helping you, continue helping the community as we are trained to be as mga scholar ng bayan. Maraming salamat. And we will, with that, we also like to recognize the different sponsors for this General Assembly. So for those who would still want to contribute to the membership dues and for the monies to be forwarded to Ms. Patricia Non, please do so until the end of the week. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Ms. Non, I know you're very busy, but if you can stay a while, meron po kaming virtual art exhibit. You might want to watch. Alam kong you're a graduate of UP Fine Arts. So baka maaliw ka ng kaunti.
Sige po. Magsistay po ako. Maraming salamat din po sa
Thank you,
tulong
Ms.
niyo. Actually, malaking tulong po siya kasi umu-order pa rin po kami ng gulay sa farmers. So, pandagdag po yan. Salamat po.
Thank you.
Magsistay po ako.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. We had pre-drawn five winners before our program started tonight. Please check if you are one of those lucky winners. They are posted in our UPDA Facebook page. Okay? So for those here with us tonight, don't worry. We have a lot of raffle prizes left to be drawn live. Okay? So just a reminder for everyone, if you're not here with us tonight, your chance of winning will be forfeited. Okay? So once your name has been drawn, please let us know if you're here by typing in your name in the Zoom chat box. Okay? So we will be waiting for your message until the final batch of raffle prizes. This will be drawn towards the end of the program. Okay? So for our first raffle draw live tonight, we will be giving away another 2 sets of the GDS composite and cement packs. So for our first winner, congratulations, Dr. Marilu Sembrano. And another one. Meneses, congratulations. So please, if you're here, Dr. Meneses and Dr. Sembrano, please message us in the chat box. Okay. And then to all winners, if in case after the program, please message us through our email or through our Viber number, which will be flashed on your screens, for us to coordinate how to ship your prizes. Okay? So stay tuned. We have more prizes to be raffled. See you again.
Let me introduce our distinguished speaker is the CEO of the Bello Medical Group. She obtained her Bachelor of Science from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, and completed her degree of medicine and surgery at the University of Santo Tomas. She later got her diploma in dermatology from the Institute of Dermatology in Bangkok, Thailand. Dr. Bello furthers her studies in dermatologic and laser surgery at the Harvard Medical School in Boston and at St. Francis Memorial Hospital in the University of California in San Francisco. Our speaker has been a recipient of various awards, not only for her 13 clinics across the nation, but also for herself as a businesswoman and as an international influencer. These awards include Women of Excellence Award and the CEO Excel Award from the International Association of Business Communicators. She was recently featured in the Philippines edition of Time magazine as the rising star of beauty tourism. Dr. Bello loves to give talks, whether to a big crowd or an intimate gathering such as this. As she conducted her talks, she uses a more casual approach and uses simple words and analogies to explain each procedure. Fast forward, her efforts successfully changed the perception of cosmetic surgery and dermatology to not only be acceptable to a regular Filipino, but also aspirational as well. Bello became a household name in the Filipino society. Who has not heard of the name Magpabello ka muna, or one has been bellified. She's the opponent of Philippine medical tourism and is passionate about beauty and anti-aging. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dr. Vicky Bello.
Hi, Dr. Rochelle. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And thank you so much for inviting me. It feels good to be back home with Dilimaners or UP people. I did my medicine in UST, so I've always missed Diliman. Thank you, Nina, my twin, my taller, sexier, and prettier twin. I hope you're around. We always tease each other. We're triplets now. The third one is Jody Santa Maria. Pero I look more and more, we're looking farther and farther apart. Anyway, thank you so much for inviting me. And this topic doesn't seem bagay to you people because you all look young to me. But anyway, I guess that's it. We will always look young and feel young. And this is actually where I am right now. So I'm 64 years old, and that's kind of like I've been in this in the beauty business for 31 years, and I really put up Bello for myself because as I don't know if you've heard my story, but I was adopted as a child, and at that time, or even now, I always hear things about adopted kids na parang ay ampon lang yan, stuff like that. So I used to get the word now is shamed in school for being adopted. And the reason that they said I was adopted or given away is because I was fat and ugly. So on the shoulders of that insecurity, I put up Bella Medical Group with the purpose of making everybody beautiful and sexy so that they will be loved and not given away. But also along the way, it's been wonderful for me because everything that I do in the clinic, I can use on myself first, since I'm ahead of most of you. Anyway, let's begin with the slides, please. Anyway, thank you for all. Are you all working? What percentage of you are doing clinic? Do you know, Rochelle, Dr. Rochelle?
I have no idea. During the ATQ, most of us actually stopped working.
Because I think
we're on early retirement.
It's all this area, right? But
Yes.
also I think we got a lot of ideas for safety from the dental from you guys because you've been doing it for such a long time already. Anyway, battling aging in the time of pandemic. Next slide, please. Put to I press. Okay, ako na lang. Kaya pa. So what happened during the pandemic? The pandemic has brought us so many things. So one of the things in terms of health and beauty is this. Can any of you identify with dark under eye circles due to always being on gadgets? Or for people who lack sleep because you're stressed and feeling and you're rubbing your eyes maybe because you're in front of gadgets all the time, or sleeping too late watching Korean novelas or Netflix? Well, if this is you, this can happen to you because of an increased cortisol level, and then you develop, and rubbing your eyes causes some blood vessels underneath the skin to break, so you end up with dark circles. Next here. Another thing that had happened during the pandemic is of course acne breakouts due to acne. There have been so many patients who've been coming to the clinic who never had pimples before, and now they're always getting pimples in the weirdest places, not the T-zone, but more on the cheeks, because of wearing masks that rub against your skin. We have acne mechanica. We have the bacteria bouncing back to the face when we talk. So that's been a big problem as well. The quarantine 15 is the average weight gain supposedly during this quarantine and institute the last year and a half is 15 pounds. Just like you gained weight when you went to your first year college, there is something called the quarantine 15. Yes. So let's talk first of what you guys can do. I'm sure you're all already doing it since you guys are doctors and really want to live a healthy life. Eat a balanced diet. So one thing that I wanted to talk with you about is microbiome. I'm sure you've heard of it, but it's really become the buzzword even in medical aesthetics, because your gut actually contains 90% of the live cells in your body, bacteria, fungus, and it has its own basically microsystem. And there is a brain-gut connection, and you have to keep this gut healthy because in the Philippines, especially due to our overuse of antibiotics, and a lot of people don't even finish their course of 7 days we have developed a lot of resistant bacteria. And with antibiotics, you kill both healthy, good bacteria and bad bacteria. And what's happening is that they discovered that the actual ecosystem in your gut, your microbiome, can determine a lot of your mood, your skin, your weight gain or loss of weight, even dementia, people with Parkinson's. So this is really a new thing where you can eat yourself healthy. Another thing, of course, is juices. Green juice, vegetable juices. Here's a whole if you want this is Reese Witherspoon's green juice. I promise you, I hate vegetables, so I drink it. And this is very, very delicious. And just drinking it I went to a holistic doctor. They saw my red blood cells were very clumped. And then after I drank juice for 1 week, they showed that it was already moving very freely. So I'm quite impressed with what juices can do. Of course, we have our, this one came because I needed collagen. So I was ordering collagen from Japan every month, Meiji collagen, because I really know that you don't get enough of it from your diet. It's very difficult. And then I started thinking, well, if I need it so badly, maybe other people in the Philippines need it. And that's how the collagen drink from Bello came about. Collagen are short chain amino acids which are directly available to your you can metabolize right away and use it. It's very good for, of course, for your skin. As we age, our fibroblasts get really lazy, and for every year of life, usually you lose 1% of collagen. So for example, at my age, I already only have 36% of my fibroblasts making collagen and elastin, and I need all the help I can get. So collagen supplementation is extremely important. If you're over 40, do at least 2 sachets a day. Of course, now that it's COVID, it's not enough to just have your ABs, your regular supplementation. Let's talk about what has really helped for COVID. And well, I'm sure most of you know this, but what's come out to be important, of course, vitamin C at 1,000 milligrams per day. Zinc for me has been the superstar. That's something that I discovered during COVID, and I am so impressed because for the whole 1 year and a half of COVID, I've never had tonsillopharyngitis, whereas before I would get it 4 times a year and I would take antibiotics. Melatonin is not just for sleeping, but it's also for anti-COVID because it's anti-inflammatory and it stops the whole reaction cytokine storm in your lungs. So it's very important to take it. And then vitamin D, I just want to bring up the fact that we think we have a lot of vitamin D because we live in the Philippines under the sun, but a lot of us lack the enzyme that converts. So we have to supplement vitamin D. For example, when you take they've taken my vitamin D levels 3 times, once in Hong Kong, once in Belgium, and once the US, and every single time I came up 0. So what happened is I didn't really have this, so now I have to supplement every day. Thank you. Exercise is extremely important, not just for your body, but also for your mind, to clear your mind, to perspire, to move, because when we're stuck, especially during ECQ and we can't walk outside, it drives us insane. Get plenty of sleep, 8 hours of sleep a day. Avoid alcohol and drugs, please, because it just makes things worse. It's a short-term gain, long-term loss. And one thing is stay hydrated. Hydrated now, they've said minimum of 8 glasses a day, 8 ounces, but they're really saying 10 to 12. One of the things that I discovered as well is the hydrogen water. I really think it makes you feel so much better. So you get this bottle, this glass bottle, and then you put regular water inside, and then you press something and it gives you more hydrogen. H2O breaks some of the OH2H. And for some reason, I don't get bloated anymore. I sleep better and I don't have so much muscle pain when I work out. And when all else fails, of course, we have Bello. So what have we been doing about all these problems that come up with quarantine? Everybody says that the eyes are the windows to the soul. And really, when you look at people, especially with masks, there is much more of an emphasis on the eye. So we came out with See the World with New Eyes, which can mean 2 things. You see the world with new eyes because now we see how beautiful the world is when there's not so much traffic. Nature is so happy, the animals are happy, they're out on the streets while we have to stay home. But it's also improving your eyes because of the dark circles, the fine lines and wrinkles, etc. So our models here, of course, Piolo Pascual here, who is now 43 years old, and his eyes, I think, are one of his best assets. So he does go to the clinic and he does BioNutriGlow, which is something that has 59 essential vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and peptides to keep the skin area around the eye very healthy. You have to remember, if you pinch your eye, pinch your eyelid, lower eyelid, and then pinch your cheek, you can see what a big difference there is in the thickness. So if there's anything that ages quickly, hi, Scarlett, say hi. Sorry. Hi, everyone. Let's just say hi. Then it's the eyes. Wait, darling, this is, I love you. Okay. Wait, later. Okay, what, your tooth? Or we have an emergency. Wait, darling. Oh, show me na lang your tooth. Her tooth is falling down. They're all dentists, but she's gonna pull her own teeth. Okay, so
No, it's gonna fall off.
it's gonna fall off. Okay, you better put because double the price with your tooth fairy. Next slide. Sorry, guys. This is Zoom at home. BioNutriGlow. If you can see, there are little mosquito bites there because that's how BioNutriGlow is. It has to be in the right layer between the epidermis and dermis, because the dermis is where all the fibroblasts are, and collagen, elastin, and you need to feed it directly with things. Of course, angel whitenings for the dark circles, and for once you hit 40, since the eyes are the first part of your face to age, since it's so thin, it's got has so much damage because you rub your eyes, you squint, so much expression. Some people need laser blepharoplasty. So here's an eye bag, an upper lid, and this is after. You look much more rested. Again, this is only a 30-year-old, but sagging upper lids and eye bags, dark circles, and look how much better. Another one, she's 30 as well. So people are doing it a lot earlier now. And I guess it's also because of the fold. If you're putting makeup or eyeshadow and you have to keep lifting, it's much easier to just do this. Why do I keep that? This is Anthony Pangilinan. It took me 20 years, I think, to convince him to have a blepharoplasty. Find him very handsome, but it made him look tired, and here he is looking much fresher. For those who just stay at home or you just want to improve your eyes, you don't want to really do any procedures, we have developed the Bellify kit, which is a combination of the HXR eye cream. I think this is one of the best eye creams. I've tried so many. One thing that I think you should know is you put your eye cream in the morning, not at night. Why? Because if you put eye cream at night, it tends to be more a moisturizer for most eye creams, and they absorb water. So when you wake up in the morning, you kind of look like you have eye bags. Kind of looks heavy, like what happened. And then, of course, it's just water being absorbed. And then as you walk around during the day, it falls down. So it's normal. There's nothing wrong. But I've been looking for a good eye cream. I've only really found two that I really believe in. One is this HXR eye cream because it's not moisturizers, but peptides. So peptides are the new superstars in skincare. They give basically our fibroblasts the ingredients to make the collagen and elastin. So if you don't have ingredients, it's hard to do something. Then you also have the eye mask. It's such a big deal now, mask around the eyes, because the face masks are different. You need to have more moisturization around the eyes because there are no oil glands here. So while I'm not a proponent of moisturizers for the eyes, I do like it, but not too strong, because then, as I said, you absorb water. So these are peptides. You have the HXR resorcinol, which gets rid of dark circles. You have the exfoliant to get rid of fine lines and wrinkles. And this is called the Bellify kit. Next slide, please. Then we have, I had to find something that could help all the patients, since you're getting so many problems. It's hard to treat maskne if the problem is still there, if the cause of the problem is there. So that was the rubbing of the mask and the acne mechanica and the bacteria bouncing back to the face. And so we got this mask from Korea. It's wonderful. As you can see, we put water droplets. It's very, really keeps, it doesn't absorb the water. It's quite good protection. But of course, now I would suggest double masking. You can put this inside, so that would be against your skin. And if you need a surgical mask, you put it outside. Because you don't want the surgical mask to keep rubbing with all its different surfaces. And it does cause acne, the surgical mask. This one has copper, which is an antibacterial. So it does kill the bacteria. And then it has really nice cloth that it's so soft and it doesn't have edges, so you don't get the acne mechanica. Next slide, please. How do we treat masked knee? So finally, after all these years, 2 years ago, finally there's a machine that gets rid of oiliness and large pores, and it's called the Vivace, and it's a microneedling radio frequency with LED lights. So it has all these things: microneedling, radio frequency like thermage, and the LED light which kills the bacteria. So when the needles go in, the LED light, which is 420, is antibacterial. It kills it. It also has a red light for lifting. It also makes the pores really, really small. So this is our best pore shrinker in the clinic. And so you decrease the oiliness, you make the pores small, and this is our way of achieving Korean skin. Next slide. So here's the blue light Vivace. Here's the before and then after. You can see how much better the skin looks, but this is only after, I think, 2 treatments. Usually you need 4. Next slide. Before and after. Next slide. Then we also have a new laser. It's called the Advalite. This is good for, this is Piolo Pascual's favorite treatment. He goes once a month for it. It's wonderful because it has a light for the red blood vessels. It has the 1390 to hit the pigmentation. It reduces pore size. And again, it lifts. So Piolo likes the way it really makes his pores so small. This is something, again, I had to get from Japan because I was so, no, from Korea, because I still get pimples. That's the reason I became a derma, because I had to cure myself. Once in a while I do. And, you know, I'm still one of those people who likes to pick my pimples. I can't help it. I get giggle. So the pimple patch is a wonderful thing. It has something to dry up the acne, cover it, so you can put makeup over it, and it stops you from trying to pick your own pimples. So you don't spread the germs around or create another pimple beside it. Next slide. Time for rhino. So, okay, so now that people have their mask, you know that if you do a rhinoplasty, normally the way you cover is by wearing a mask. But now that it's normal to have a mask, people are all having rhinoplasties left and right because it's the best time to do it. Next slide. So here it is, before and after. Next slide. Before Brian Boy and after. Next slide. Before and after. Oops. Okay, next slide. Liposuction, of course, for the 15 pounds that you gain, I would recommend you work it out. But actually, liposuction is really more for people who've given birth and have accumulated a lot of fat in that area. Another phenomenon now is that the arms are getting bigger because I think of the hormones in the food. So a lot of young people in their 20s, even in their teens, have big arms. I never saw this before. I've only seen it in the last 10 years. And there's no other way to get rid of, it's very, very hard to get rid of fat in the arms. Even if you diet, a lot of times it's last to go. So liposuction, 360 degrees is the best way to go. We call it 360 because unlike other people who do liposuction under general anesthesia, they can only do the front. We do it under local anesthesia to tumescent, so we can do 360 degrees, front, side, and back. And we also stand the patients at the end of the liposuction just to make sure that everything looks right, even standing, or you know that you look different standing and lying down. So we always check and do our last 10 minutes of lipo in a standing position just to make sure everything is going to look good, whether you're lying down or standing up. Next slide. So here's Bianca Valeria. Here's before, and then here she is after her liposuction. You can see what a big difference. We always suggest, people always ask, well, I'll work out. For us, it's better, or I'll diet. When it's better to do the lipo, suck out all the fat we can get. There's fat that you have to diet and you work out. I mean, not, you know, to get a firmer muscle. And that's what you do after. Next slide. So here's Morissette. I was telling you about her arm. She was only 21, I think, when she came to us. And she was quite conscious that every time she sang, she's a singer, the camera wasn't very flattering to her looks because her arms looked big and her back. So we liposuctioned her, and here she is after. Next slide. Of course, Jinky is probably my, what is she? I guess my pinaka, what do you call it when they're, my muse, thank you. So Jinky came to me after her last child, and this is her before and this is her after. Next slide. So again, for those people who feel safer at home, we have developed a whole line called the Bello It Yourself. Things you can do by yourself in the house. You can do it for your kids or your sister or your husband, and he can do it for you. So we have the illuminating. This one of the biggest problems we see all the time, constantly in the clinic from the day I started in 1990 is dark armpits. There are many causes of dark armpits. People do a lot of things wrong, like use a pimple or loofah to try to get rid of it. Use very strong deodorants, which have, as you know, aluminum chloride, and aluminum and perspiration together will cause dark armpits. Some people it's genetic, hormonal, so many reasons, but right now at least we have the illuminating kit, which can help. Then we have the face brightening kit, and then the armpit perfecting cream. So if you just have, if you want to get lighter or brighter everywhere, then you do the illuminating kit. If it's just the armpits, then you can do the armpit perfection kit. Next slide. So Zio, this is Zaino Baji's line. It's been my drug, I think, since I started 31 years ago. As I said, I had really bad skin. And it's the one product that's really worked for me. Of course, it's evolved. It used to be a lot of things before, like glycolic acid, alpha hydroxy acids. Now we're into a lot of growth factor serums and peptides because it's involving as the different ingredients are getting better and better. What's my end? Next slide. So we have a lot of protocols. We have, I can't see, but does that say something protocol? Your ZO daily skin. So you have like maintaining health. Dr. Abaji was the first doctor to think of dermatologists as people who maintain good skin. Prior to Dr. Abaji, people only went to dermatologists because they had eczema or seborrheic dermatitis or psoriasis. It was him. He said, our job is to keep everybody's skin healthy all the way. And healthy skin is defined as baby skin. So whenever we have a peg, scarlet skin is really healthy, no pigmentation, tiny pores, no pimples, soft, you know, perfect. So that is the kind of skin that we all aspire to. Next slide. We have this wonderful new mask I just wanted to share with you because I'm very, very alive with it. I don't really like moisturizers in the Philippines because our country is so humid. And by putting all these oily moisturizers that really work well in foreign countries like Europe or the States, Las Vegas, where there's no humidity, when you use that here, it clogs up your pores and then you break out or you get milia and then people complain, right? But they don't want to get rid of their products because they're so expensive. So I keep telling them, you know, weather does play a part in what you use. So I've always said use hydrators, not moisturizers. What's the difference? Hydrators are mostly humectants. Humectants are substances that really trap water in the skin, and that's what we want. Moisturizers are oil-based normally, and they do put moisture on the skin, oil on the skin, but that can clog our pores. So this Dr. France mask is for me a lifesaver. It's what I bring with me. Like I just went to Paris. I was invited by Gucci for, you know, one of my dreams was to attend Oscars, but God gave me the Cannes Film Festival. They paid for everything, but of course I had to prepare myself before the red carpet. And I bought the Dr. France mask, and it just gave me a nice lift and made my skin very, I thought, look pretty good and poreless. So next slide. So this is a wonderful mask. It's a dual mask because it does two things. It hydrates you, and it has also, it's the first mask that has little wires that you can see. It's inside the paper part of it. And then you can see on her third side, the third picture, step 3, that she has batteries on top of the mask. So these batteries send a microcurrent, which increases blood circulation, increases the absorption of all the humectants here, which is glycerin and hyaluronic acid. And it even makes your muscles, stimulates your muscles to lift and tighten. The great thing is you don't feel anything. It's totally painless, but you do feel the tightening, the lifting, and the hydration of your face. Next slide. So now we've done Zoom. We do a lot of Zoom consultations. I'm always doing it almost every day. And then when patients, it's a good thing to really know what they need before they go to the clinic. So when they get there, there's not that much waiting time, or a lot of times you can just ship them their products that they need. And this is a great way where I've really made so many, it's a closer way of doing things. We feel like friends after we've done Zoom. And people from London and Sweden and all over the world are consulting with me right now because they can't come here. Next slide. So at the end, actually, when all boils down to it, I think we need to have a very, COVID has really affected all of us physically, emotionally, and mentally. I've only felt the effects lately because I think, I had a time where I thought the light at the end of the tunnel was there. We were all being vaccinated. Things were opening up. And then I felt, hey, finally we're going. And then when it didn't happen because of Delta, parang, it was such a letdown and I really felt down. And of course, I was also on quarantine. Quarantine is really very hard for me. I was ready for 7, but just adding the extra 3 days made it so much more difficult for me. But I think the attitude that we have to do and what I did to cope was really just pray and be grateful that we are all still healthy and we're closer to our family than ever, and that we realize that God is so important. And always, everybody's so much kinder, I think. Most people anyway, at least in Paris where they used to be so masungit, they're all very kind now. People in the hotel were wonderful. So I think if there's anything I advise, if you could take one thing away from my talk, it's to have an attitude of gratitude and offer everything to God. Okay, thank you. Gratitude every day. Thank you and have a very beautiful day.
Thank you, Dr. Bello. You had the audience captivated from the beginning to the end of the lecture. Quite overwhelming, but in a pleasant way, of course. I can see that mommy duties are a calling. But would you still have time to answer a few questions?
Yeah, sure. Of course,
Thank you.
of course.
There were questions already that were sent previously. So easily, what are the first signs of aging, or how do you recognize it for men and then for women?
Well, as I said, if we're talking physical aging, then that would really be the eyes. The face is always most exposed. Of course, aging has a lot to do with sun exposure as well, and free radical exposure from pollution. We all live in Metro Manila, well, most of us. So it's really hard. But it's really the thin areas of the skin that age fastest, and those with no oil glands. Because actually what they're calling aging now is not aging, but inflammaging. So what does that mean? That aging is really caused by inflammation. That if we can keep the inflammation down and we don't destroy skin with smoking, sleeping late, parang what else do we do? Rubbing our eyes and all this, it's all creating inflammation in our body. So it will probably come at the same time that you will have fine lines and wrinkles. You start noticing a little sagging because Asians sag, not like Caucasians, they wrinkle and they have so many lines on their faces. With us, it's more just heaviness and going down. You'll also notice that when you work out, you don't recover as quickly. Parang you have aches and pains. It's not so it's all a sign that your body is getting inflamed. And so that's why it's important to both eat this anti-inflammatory food, fermented food, as well as applying things that don't irritate your skin too much. Just enough irritation is fine. One of the things I forgot to mention is that you can do intermittent fasting. A very good person to follow on IG or YouTube is a scientist from Harvard. His name is David Sinclair. He's been studying aging for a really long time, and he thinks that he's the one who's proposing this whole idea that inflammation, that that aging is a disease. It is not something that we should accept that we are going to do. Aging, he says, we are all designed to be able to live up to 150 years old, or at least 120. But because of all the things we do to ourselves, we age earlier. And one of the things that he says is so good for us is intermittent fasting. And I've really turned so many people on to intermittent fasting and everybody loves it. What is intermittent fasting? It's you eat 8 hours and you don't eat for 16. So for example, for myself, my first meal of the day would be at 12 noon and my last meal of the day has to finish by 8 p.m. But even if I eat 3 meals in that 8 hours, it's fine. It's just that you have to make your body go into an intermittent sort of little fast, which just excites your body enough or wakes up your body enough to get the epigenome and the genomes and the telomeres working so that they lengthen so that you don't age as quickly. Giving your body too much of everything, like too much food, too much drinking, like every time not letting it get a little hungry is not very good. And it's a great way to control your weight because you can eat anything you want. It's anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, but in the 8 hours I'm doing this thing, I've eaten cake, I'm eaten bibingka. I can eat anything. I don't have to. I hate of all the diets. I hate keto, like thinking or sugar or carbohydrate counting. No, this one you can eat, but just keep it within 8 hours so you fast your body for 16. Anyway, first sign of aging, yeah, fine lines and wrinkles on the and neck aging.
Okay, thank you. You've discussed the do's for anti-aging. What about the don'ts?
Okay, the don'ts, I discussed the don'ts. And number one is sun exposure. So you really have to use sunscreen, but you have to remember that you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours, even if it says waterproof or water resistant. Even if you're inside the house, like me, I have a light, there's blue light from my computer screen. You still have to wear some sort of sunscreen at home. The worst, I think, is really cigarette smoking. Nothing destroys the skin or even the whole body as much as cigarette smoking. Just has so many toxins. So your lungs get destroyed, your skin gets destroyed. So those sleeping less than at least 7 to 8 hours a day is very important because that's the only time your body can repair. When we're awake, we're always doing things. So we need all our energy for what we're doing. And it's only at night when we sleep that your body can go around and repair. I mean, all the energy can be used for repair. And it's so great now because melatonin, pure melatonin is not only something to let you sleep, it's anti-stress, but now it's also anti-COVID. So there's no excuse not to take it. The problem is finding the right melatonin. I've tried so many. I've only found one that's good in Singapore. I'm sure you guys have tried, so you find, but it's a syrup. So hard to get. I have to get it from a doctor there, but it's made such a difference in my life. So if any of you have found a good melatonin, share, because I've tried a lot of the available ones and healthy options or whatever, they don't work. But if you can find a melatonin, that would really be wonderful for you, for your mental, physical health.
We'll take note of that. You mentioned the blue light. Most of us nowadays are in front of the computers.
Yes.
So would that hasten aging for all of us, even all of us here in Zoom right now?
It will. So that's why it's so good to wear sunscreen. You should do it even if you're inside. If you think, even cooking, Rochelle, will cause you to have pigmentation. So I don't know if you've noticed, but when you're young, your bigger problems are pimples, oily skin. And as you get older, it becomes brownish and black discoloration. These are all signs of chronic sun damage or damage to your skin. They're quite resistant to treatment. So, as much as possible, we should try to do things to avoid it. I created a product. It's a tinted sunscreen from Bello Essentials. You can get it in Watson's. And it's really designed to protect you even from blue light. It's a light sunscreen, but it's also light makeup. So you have the foundation and the sunscreen in one. I mean, guys use it also because they like the way their skin looks when they put it. And it's not makeup because it's sunscreen, but it does serve already as a foundation. So you don't really, if you put it thickly enough, you can decide how thick you want it. But the proper amount of sunscreen is basically on your face, 2 lines on your middle and index finger. So putting too little won't give you enough protection. So you should really at least put 2 lines here and then put it on your forehead, your cheeks, especially the upper cheeks, like I have very high cheekbones, your chin and your nose, and then massage it in.
Wow. Should be taking a break probably and put sunscreen in a while.
Yeah, sunscreen, yeah, at least 30. And when you go out, dapat 50.
And then every 2 hours.
Well, if you're in the house, no naman. But if you're outside, when you're outside, especially if you're in a beach or you're swimming, I mean, you perspire and everything. So a lot of people, they just put it once, color in the whole day. It's good.
Okay.
It's not. There you have to reapply. But if you're in the house, I think, and you're in air conditioning and you're not perspiring, so you don't have to keep reapplying anymore. Just once in the morning would be fine.
Thank you. There's a question, actually, it was asked several times. Because of the pandemic, people are scared to go to clinics, even to our clinics. What are the home care methods that we can do and observe? And I know in IG, it's peppered with home care equipments. Of course, we don't know the safety of it, but some people do risk it. What are the safe ones? What are the ones that we might purchase and invest on?
The equipment, I've really been trying, because of this, we've been trying to shift to home equipment. I don't believe, so far, I haven't found anything really amazing for home. In fact, every day, tons of equipment arrive here from everywhere because I need to try it. But there's one thing that I like, but I'm still trying it. I've only done it for, what's it called? The one with the light, this red, green light. Anyway, number one, any equipment that you see me promoting on Facebook, that's not me, okay? They're using my face for everything, so that's not me. I believe the creams are more than enough. You don't really, the hair removal things don't work. I haven't met one that works. So the other things they want. The lifting, well, those wash.
Washer.
Those roller things, they're made out of plastic, because the ones in the States cost $350 and up. They're made from actual jade, or I don't know, pink things for love, and they give an aura, whatever. Yeah, those roller things. But I've seen it work temporarily, but it's not anything permanent. Today I just got from New York, I got Nina if it works, but I'm doing it on me. And then I got another product. I'm still
Is there a problem with the connection? I hope we can get back Dr. Bello. We will just see if we can try to get back Dr. Bello on screen. Please stay tuned. We have more in store. There's Dr. Bello. You're back.
Okay, so they have this LED thingamajig that's quite expensive, and they're really using my face to promote it, and I really have nothing to do with it. In fact, in Paris, they actually, I don't know if anyone saw my IG, it was really funny. I videoed it because I was so in it. So I'm walking down Paris, I forgot the name of anyway, where the dermatology IMCAS thing was held. And this girl stops me and she goes, "You Filipino?" I said, "Yes." "Oh, she's Italian." She said, "Are they still there?" Yeah. She said, "Do you know Dr. Bello?" I said, "Why?" She goes, "Oh, our machine, Dr. Bello swears by it. It's the best machine ever, blah, blah." So I look at it and I said, "Can you video this? Because it's really, I hear about it all the time, but I've never seen it in action, that they'll use my name." Anyway, so she gave me this thing with LED light. It's like 25,000 pesos. Wow. She puts it there. I got burned totally. I had pigment. It took me so long. LED light is really good, but not when you're putting it so hot against your skin, because the heat alone will attract all these pigment cells to the surface. And the red light was so hot. And then she said, "You were up for 20 minutes. I did it only twice or once." Because I said, after a while, I told her, and she goes, "Oh." And she kept naming me. "Yeah, really? Yeah." She uses this one. Then I look at her, I said, "Do you want to see my name tag?" And I showed it to her. And she was, "Oh, you're Dr. Vicky." Anyway, I said, "You're using my name. Why don't you give me a machine? Because if it's good, I'll tell people it's good. But you can't use my name if I don't know it." So they gave me one. And I used it. Oh my gosh. I had black for a year. It took me so long. So I would really say be careful about what you use. It might look, if you're younger, like in your 29 and below, yes, your skin can withstand a lot of things, heat, burn a little. But when you're already 30 and above, wala na eh. Medyo our face is like a computer, our skin's like a computer. The viruses have entered. At some point, they already corrupt our files. And then when that happens, parang you can't anymore. Any little pigmentation, any sun will make it black. So be careful. So don't use na lang those things. Just go with the tried and tested. Watch my Instagram, Vicky underscore, what, Bello ba? Is it Victoria pala? Victoria underscore Bello, because I will always keep you up to date if I find something that really works. But so far, I haven't found anything. We found something that works on fat. Problem naman, after 3 weeks, nasira na yung machine. Parang, hello, it's expensive, like 40,000. And it did melt fat and it did tighten the skin. But after siguro mga 5 uses, it broke na, finish. So I don't know if that's, if you want to know about that, it's called sauna, SONA, but it really breaks down quickly. So I'm trying to look for a machine that works and can withstand, a long time naman. And I will put it on my IG. Even if I have nothing to gain from it, I promise. Part of my IG, kasi is to inform and educate people so that they don't get, fooled by all this gizmos on, di ba? Everywhere na lang, Lazada, Shopee, something. Yun.
It's accessible. So for now, no recommended home care equipment.
For now, no recommended machines because I've tried. Things that don't harm you are the gua sha and the roller, those things that have the parang jade roller. They don't do any harm. And they do some temporary good. You just go like that because what it does is it drains the lymphatic vessels. So you go, you go like this and then you kind of drain. Make sure it's very light pressure because lymphatic vessels don't respond to heavy pressure. It doesn't move. It has to be like tickle lang and then go down. So it will make your face smaller for that day, like for about 3 hours. And then if you want to do it again, do it again. But it's not anything permanent. But those things are mga 200 pesos lang naman, di ba? So you can afford to that. But really, Zeo creams by itself or Filmed, but Zeo talaga, I promise you guaranteed ibang klaseng effect. And then when you have, Bella's very safe, huh? We have so many IntelliPure systems, filtering. But I went to Nina's office, grabe siya. It's really like going to war against all that COVID. I feel very safe in dental offices, I think.
Well, we have to watch out for that. One last question. You talked about the creams. Because what are the ingredients to look out for if, let's say, we don't get the Zeo? There are other creams in the market. I know there's those in the Maximum, they have the Save and Splurge. Diba, you have that option, no? So if you try to look for the ingredient in the product, what are we supposed to watch out for? And what are we supposed to avoid in a product?
So if you watch my IG, first of all, you'll learn how to apply the products because don't do the Korean 15 steps because it's really not bagay to our skin. A lot of people are breaking out because just too many serums and essences and whatever. If you're going to ask me what are the pinaka basic that you have to do. So you have to have a good wash, definitely. And then you have to have, if you have oily skin, you should have a toner either with an alpha hydroxy acid or a beta. So that would be glycolic or salicylic. And then after that, you apply those two first, so water, and then you should have something that will help exfoliate or a cream that will really help exfoliate. So in the morning though, vitamin C for me is very important and a sunscreen. So vitamin C, it has to be well made because if it's exposed to the air, it oxidizes and then it doesn't work so well anymore. But the vitamin C, so it has to be a very sealed pack. And when you press it, it has to be really white. And then that's morning. And then after vitamin C, you wait 15 minutes before you apply your sunscreen because you don't want the sunscreen to dilute your actives. the number one thing that you have to use naman in the evening, you do all the steps, is retinoic acid. So retinoic acid has been used for so long, but it's still the gold standard, not retinol. Retinoic acid at 0.05%. So 0.05% will stimulate your collagen and elastin production, will help control your pigmentation. And it's really anti-aging as well, although you have to expect a little peeling. It's a micro peel, and that's good. And in the beginning, if it's really a good kind of vitamin retinoic acid, you will be red. The redness is because you have an increased blood circulation to your face. It's like when you drink red wine or wine and you get red. It means your blood vessels are dilating and more blood is going to your face, and that's good. It will eventually balance out in about 3 weeks. There will also be some peeling. That's good. That means your dead skin is coming off, because that skin, when you keep using moisturizers, you're basically pasting or gluing your old skin to your face. You're not making it come off. And how will your new skin or the new fresh skin show up if you're keeping all the old skin on your face? So when you use retinoic acid, there will definitely be a little peeling. It's something you should be happy about instead of worried about, because it will really expose now the healthier skin that's underneath. And then, if you just make tiyaga for 3 weeks with the redness and the peeling, you will reap the results at the end. And how often should you apply vitamin A? You have to do 2 pea-sized amounts on your finger and really massage it and press it into your face. And then, of course, the eye cream is extremely important, because you cannot use the creams on the face, on the eyes, because this does not have any oil glands. And then it will be too dry and you will have wounding pangar irritation. So the eye cream can also be used on the neck. So because both of them may have much oil glands, and so you can really hydrate it well. But on the face, most of us have oily skin. So if you have oily skin, it's really good to use retinoic acid. So vitamin C and retinoic acid are the pinaka-basic. And then after that, depending if you have problems, and you add on other things. If you have pimples, you get acne astringents or acne drying creams. If you have pigmentation, our gold standard is still hydroquinone. But you can't use it for longer than 4 months. You have to alternate it, because after 4 months, parang it doesn't work so well. Then you have to put all the other brighteners like licorice, all these other things, just tranexamic acid. Those are things that are not as powerful as hydroquinone, but you have to do that for 4 months and then go back to hydroquinone. So it's always alternating, so you don't damage any part of your skin. It's like rotating crops. When you're planting, you hit particular cells with this one, and then that's already maximal effect. You change to another one that does the same thing, but it's different cells. Complicated ba? Okay.
It's quite overwhelming, but it's okay because we get to learn, no? We learn. Any last advice for us dentists who are always wearing masks? We have these respirators in their clinics. Sometimes when we get off it, there are lines that are left there for a while.
Yeah, that's only when you get older. I know, because with Scarlett, if she has lines in 1 minute, it's gone. Me, when it's the, I have a massage all the time, and you put your face there, it's like an hour. It just really means that you have less collagen and elastin. Mochi skin, I don't know, have you ever eaten mochi balls or mochi whatever? That's the kind of skin we want, very spongy and springy, and doesn't keep the lines there. So when you have lines for a long time, it just means that you have less, like collagen and elastin. Elastin is like the rubber band of your skin. Parang after a while it breaks, so it doesn't bounce back as quickly. You have to increase the collagen. And the way to do that with creams, of course, your collagen supplementation drinks, it's always better to use a powder than a capsule, or a tablet, because that half of it gets stuck in your stomach. It doesn't really go to where you need it. But a drink, diretso yan, available right away, the collagen. You have to do that. And also you have to use the retinoic acid and vitamin C, because that will increase, parang like a pillow, like a bed, diba? Bed looks fine, or a sofa, pero pag matanda na, pag upo mo, you sink. Diba? Wala ng foam. So you have to change the foam inside or increase the foam. And the way to do that is with collagen supplementation, retinoic acid in the evening, and vitamin C in the morning.
Those are good analogies. The foam and then the computer and the virus.
Yeah,
So
well, that's really the way it works. Yes.
we're all set, I think. There are no more questions. So we would like to thank you, Dr. Bello,
Thank you so much for having
for
me. It's
accepting our
such a pleasure to be
invitation.
here. Makes
Uh,
it gives me excitement on a what? I stay home most of the time as well. Although I do go to the clinic every Thursday. If anybody wants to see me, I'm there.
Or we
And
can
the
do the online consultation, no?
Yeah.
So we appreciate the pointers and the simple reminders on how to take care of ourselves and in these trying times. Dr. Vicky, may your name continue to nurture a stream of patients from all over the world ready to experience your kind of service that is truly Filipino and it's at the same time truly world class. And
But I'd
thank you
like
for
to
your
thank you guys
time.
also for being so brave. I think I think you guys are much more people can't live without you guys, dentists. But with me, I'm like, pwede, take it or leave it. But you're so necessary and taking the risk of going to work. Parang, it's mouth and nose area. Oh my gosh. Thank you for being frontliners. Bye, guys.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
Diana. Thank you, Dr. Bea. Thank you, Dr. Ninay. We're going to give you a certificate just before you go, Dr. Bello.
Yay! How do I hang that on?
We will be sending it to you. We will send it.
Okay, all right.
Jamie?
The University of the Philippines Dental Alumni Association presents the Certificate of Appreciation to Dr. Victoria G. Bello for sharing her time, knowledge, and expertise as guest speaker during today's event entitled Keep It Up, Keep It UP, the UPDA General Assembly. Given this 25th of August, 2021, signed by the UPDA President, Dr. Shelby Javier, and myself as UPDA Secretary. Thank you again, Dr. Bello.
Thank you, Dr. Bello.
Thank you so much, guys. Stay safe. God bless. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. At this point, we would like first to thank you, Dr. Bello. Would like to introduce our alumni artists. And this is what we were promoting. It's a virtual catalog of the artworks of our alumni artists. Please do watch.
People say dentistry is an art. It is actually a blend of science and art. We dentists have an artistic eye because as we restore function, we have to take into consideration aesthetics as well. As dentists, we mold, sculpt, carve, and color or shade to come up with the perfect smile for our patients. So, it shouldn't come as a surprise that we have painters, sculptors, crafters, and artists of various media amongst us. We realized we have so much talent to showcase, we naturally thought of organizing an event in support of our artists. Some of these pieces are for sale, and the artists have generously agreed to donate a portion of the sales to UPDAA. So sit back and enjoy Art Up, a virtual gallery of the impressive artwork of our very own alumni.
You know, I've seen this video quite a few times when it was being edited, and I'm still in awe of the talent of our alumni artists. Two of them are my former teachers, two of them are my friends, and the other one, Dr. Grace Martinez, is part of our board. Some of them are also abroad, but they managed to send in their artwork for Art Up. And thank you, Dr. Jocelyn de Guzman Jodex, for rendering that video for our artists. We will be posting this video on our Facebook page so that we can all share and promote to our friends. And for those interested to purchase the pieces, please do not hesitate to contact the UPDA, and we will coordinate with the artists for you. Now, we at the UPDA endeavor to maintain a closer relationship with our alumni here and abroad. We likewise want to fulfill our objective of having an available alumni database for purposes of referrals and job opportunities, among others. Think of this as a combination of LinkedIn and the Filipino Doctor, but the information is only visible to the members and it will be password protected. We are reaching out to you, our alumni, to help us achieve this goal of having an exclusive alumni registry. Dr. Elch will be posting in the link in the chat box and later in the Facebook comment section, and we'll be reposting the link soon after. Please do take time to read the introduction on the form and fill in your details. Hopefully, by December, we would have launched our own private portal for the alumni registry. So alumni, we are counting on you for your support. After this, we will have our raffle. So Elge.
Hope everyone's okay. We'll be having our second batch of prizes. For now, we'll be giving away 3 sets of our impression packs. It includes rubber impression material, alginate, and dental stone. Okay? So our 3 winners will be congratulations, Dr. Mary Rose Jimenez. Next one. Congratulations, Dr. Zelita Cortez. Last one, paghubasan. Okay? So just a reminder, once your name has been drawn, please let us know if you're here by typing in your name in the Zoom chat box. For our next raffle prize, we will be giving away 2 sets of 6 pieces German number 5 mouth mirror head with it, and it comes with 1 U3D handle. Okay, so that will be 2 sets, 2 winners for that. So our first winner is Oh, my batchmate, Dr. Patricia Cruz. Next, last winner for the 6 pieces German mouth mirror, Dr. Sia. Okay, so if you're here, to all our winners, kindly message in our chat box. So again, for all the winners, for us to coordinate how to ship your prizes, please email us in our Gmail account or message us in Viber. Okay? So stay tuned for the next raffle draw. We will be giving away more prizes and for our grand prize.
Thank you for staying with us. Earlier in the program, we unveiled the creative talents of our dental alumni in the visual arts. Now, let me present a surprise number from our alumni performance artists, because our topic earlier was battling aging, featuring our much younger alumni from the classes of 2010, 2014, 2016, 2017, and 2018. For the Blinks and the Armies, alumni, let it roll.
Into your heart like that. When I walk with you, I watch the whole room change. Then that's what you do. No, I'm baby, don't play. Blaming on my confidence. I'm blaming on your measurements. Shut the shit down on sight. That's right. We out here dripping in finesse. It don't make no sense. Out here dripping in finesse. You know it, you know. Out here dripping in finesse. It don't make no sense. Out here dripping in finesse. You know it, you know it.
Blackpink. Tell me where you wanna go, meet you when my bag's at the door. Wanna touch, of course you wanna run with my love, I know you wanna. From the club to the top, you said you wanna. If you alone, then you don't need to take you high. And you ain't never gonna come down. I'm lighting your fire, and you ain't never gonna go.
Let it roll.
Let it roll. Let it roll.
Side step right left to my beat. I like the moon rocking me, baby. Know that I got that heat. Let me show you 'cause talk is cheap. Side step right left to my beat. Get it, let it roll. Cool light, cool shade, and you know we don't stop. How like, ain't no, you been like, oh my god. We gon' make it rock in his head. We gon' make it bounce in his head. Hotter, sweeter, cooler, butter. Get it, let it roll.
Thank you, Kurt and Maxine, for the choreography. Thank you to the talented Prissy, Car, Maro, Marge, Fatima, Marie, and Micah, and Lynn for the editing also. We had fun, did we? Even if we didn't see each other. That's, I think, the most important thing. Hope everybody had fun watching it. Dr. Christy, are you here? Dr. Christy, isang army. That's for you. At there, Dr. Christy. Thank you, everyone. Now, as everyone knows, the term of the UPDA president and the board is 2 years, and we were inducted into office last February 2020, just a month before the lockdown. And our term ends on February 2022. We will still be here in the next 6 months. However, I would like to introduce our next president, And I'm pleased that she's also part of our team, our quarantine. She's one of our own now. Our current Vice President, Dr. Monica Sison Cambao. Hello, Mon.
Hello, Rochelle. Thank you, Dr. Javier. It is indeed a great honor to be part of the UPDAA quarantine. Our heartfelt gratitude to all the alumni and sponsors who have supported our numerous projects during this challenging time. We assure you that your UPDAA will continue to persevere with you to emerge victorious from this pandemic. Let me take this opportunity to invite you on behalf of my batch, the Silver Jubilarians class of 1997, will be holding a special continuing education event on October 13, Wednesday at 8 p.m. A distinguished educator and researcher, Dr. Rodrigo Sanchez Cuna, will give a lecture entitled "The Endodontic Treatment Begins When Shaping is Complete, a Paradigm Shift in Endodontics," via Zoom. CPD points apply. For those who cannot make it on October 13, we will re-air the lecture on October 17, Sunday at 10 a.m. also via Zoom. Registration is at 600 pesos, but will be only 400 pesos for the first 150 registrants. Registration will be opened in September, so please stay tuned for the announcement. Thank you. Let us all stay safe. So let's move on to our most awaited part, which is the grand raffle. First off to be raffled would be, is it the UV boxes first? We have two units of UV boxes, care of Fortress. Go ahead, Dr. Elge. Who's the winner? And the first winner of a UV box from Fortress is Dr. Mayan Ekabeza. Please signify your presence in the chat box and make sure that you will notify the UPDA of your delivery details. Our next winner is Dr. Jocelyn Atender. Oh, Dr. May is already here and she said thank you. Congratulations, Doc Mayan. So Dr. Jocelyn Atender, I hope you are here. All right, we will be raffling off the next major prize, which is a composite set from Pandora. Composite set, go ahead, Doc Elge. And our winner is Dr. Sarah Liao. Doc Sarah, are you here? I hope you're here. Please signify that you're here. So remember, just email your delivery details. Okay, one more prize. This one is a shade guide from Alphadent. Shade guide from Alphadent. Roll the roulette. And our winner is, Dr. Jocelyn Tan. Doc Joji. Are you here, Doc Joji? Congratulations. You get a shade guide from Alphadent. All right, and then let's move on to the last prize of our major raffle, which is an air purifier from Orden. Ready? And let's spin the wheel. Love. Doc Love Lucido, congratulations. Ang swerte mo, air purifier. Congratulations, everybody. So again, please email your delivery details to the UPDAA so that you can get your prizes. All right. So now to give the closing remarks of our very first virtual General Assembly is the UPDAA President, Dr. Rochelle B. Javier.
Thank you, Mon. Before I close, I've been getting messages. San daw ako sa batch na 2010, 2014, 2016, 2017, 18. Pinatataas ko lang yung age average nung dance group. So let me just explain. And before I close, I would first also like to acknowledge the efforts of our board of Directors, Drs. June Clemente, Paul De Castro, and Dr. Chico at Chocoso Damata, for securing those raffle prizes from our sponsors. So medyo may variety ang ating raffle prizes. It has been an honor to have hosted tonight's first virtual General Assembly for our beloved alumni. Thank you everyone for sharing this momentous event with us. This past year has made most of us feel disconnected from the world and from each other. That is why your UPDA manages to celebrate events such as this, bring a sense of camaraderie, albeit virtually. We sincerely hope that these talks and presentations brought you as much joy as when we were preparing it. On behalf of the alumni artists, our alumni performers, Dr. Jonathan Fandilan on Facebook, and my team, UPDA. Thank you, UPCD, for joining us. At muli po, mula po sa aming mga tahanan, tayong mga UP Dentista para sa bayan, maraming salamat po hanggang sa muli nating pagkikita. Congratulations to the winners.
UP naming mahal, pamangkas ang hirap. Ang tinig namin sana'y inyong dinggin. Malayong lupain ang ibang marating, di rin magbabago ang damdamin. Di rin magbabago ang damdamin. Lutian at pula sa gisag mapakailanman. Ating pagdiwang bulwagan ng dangal. Humayo't di tanghal, giting at habang mabuhay ang pag-asa ng bayan. Mabuhay ang pag-asa ng bayan.